as well as a Shadow Fiend. And I don't have anything against the SF, but I do have, in my opinion, the Undying plus the Keeper of the Light is just not a good combo if both of them are going to be the supports. Balu team in both of their games yesterday, they suffered a lack of control. And if they have a lack of control against a Shadow Fiend, that's a recipe for disaster. We'll see how exactly they plan on making this one work. Summer Bear, they ban out the Drow Ranger as well as the Bane and Keeper of the Light away. So Balu team won't actually have their Keeper of the Light. So we'll see what exactly how they flex about going in with some of their not so preferred heroes. But at the same time, there's plenty of good options available as a support hero. You can go for the Hoodwink that's available. Clockwork unfortunately is banned out, but even the Snapfire as a support, even though it's banned, wouldn't have been too bad. Summer Bears ban out the Rubik, so I would imagine that they're probably going to pick up the Hoodwink for their own team. No, they're actually going to go for the Techies. That allows Balu team to go for the Hoodwink, and maybe if you don't want the Hoodwink and you've set yourself upon this Undying support path, then even having a Ringmaster wouldn't be that bad. I think in comparison to the Hoodwink, the Ringmaster just has a little more control. It's not that much more, but it is, there. And I think the Ringmaster, what he really offers you is that magical resistance, especially against the Techies and the Shadow Fiend. But no, Balu team will stick to the Hoodwink. I do think this is a good call because you have the control now, something they lacked yesterday, but will have it for this game. We'll see how well that actually works out, as now you have to pick up a core. I'm not saying the Undying plus a Hoodwink lane is bad. I would actually imagine that an Undying off lane plus a Hoodwink would be pretty darn good against the Shadow Fiend. It's just a Techies that you have to worry about, right? Blast off into a triple raise and your Undying is going to be dead before he can even think about using his Decay. So that's something you'll have to be careful of. Not to mention, both the Shadow Fiend and the Techies have a pretty high attack range. Techies in particular, before the SF has a Dragonlance, right? So that taking that a Tombstone wouldn't be super difficult. I think if Summer Bear were to add in one more range-based hero, then taking out a Tombstone would be a very easy task, because Balu team end up with a Wind Ranger. And again, Wind Ranger is one of those heroes that can be flexed, but mostly towards that position 4 role, right? And you already have the Hoodwink, which is by and large a position 4. So what this essentially means is that even though you have that flex potential, Balu team, they're probably going to play the Wind Ranger as a carry, right? And that's what Summer Bears are also thinking. Shadow Fiend isn't exactly a favorable MKB builder. He doesn't really want to go for the MKB. His damage-based items are mostly based around critical strike, such as a Daedalus, and even past that, you want to go for the Silver Edge as well, as it does give you a good boost to that damage. But having to go for the MKB for the SF is a negative, is a down point, is one of the things that are not in your favor. So at least Balu team do have that, but instantly you see the Centaur Warrunner coming out. I can tell you that, my team, the team that I'm coaching, has qualified to the Esports Nations Cup, and our very first game against India, we had our Wind Ranger for Yavor. And on the opposing team, India, they picked up the Centaur, and it is a very difficult lane to play into, because it doesn't matter how far ahead you are as the Wind Ranger. It doesn't matter what kind of a lane you have, because the Centaur Warrunner's level 3, the Retaliate, effectively means that you can't focus fire him down, that you can't poke and prod him too much. You really can't do much about that. Puck, unfortunately, is not available for Balu, as you want to ban out Panda's Puck, but you've left open Panda's Invoker. And that is something that Summer Bears could definitely opt into. It won't be that, though. It will just be the Omni Knight, which is a very surprising pick. Often at times, the Omni Knight can be seen as by far the best defensive support hero. In theory, in practicality, doesn't really work that way. He kind of just... He kind of feels like a meek support, right? It just doesn't do it just doesn't scratch that itch, despite of having a really big heal, and you have that debuff immunity, that's strong this well, like whatever, right? With the movement speed slow as well coming in from the Degen aura, it's a lot that the Omni Knight has to offer, and not to mention the Guardian Angel against the Wind Ranger. I mean, that is brilliant in theory. right? Just disable any kind of damage output coming in from the Wind Ranger on your Shadow Fiend, allow the Shadow Fiend to dish out the right clicks, and you're probably going to be good. You have that Centaur towards that front line, you have the techies who can blast off in for that AoE stun, and some pretty healthy damage. So Balu team, they're going to have to play at a distance because I do not see Balu team's lineup taking a full-on 5v5 team fight. I do see them picking off stragglers. I think that their ability to play divide and conquer is very good this game, especially with the Ember Spirit pickup. You can find pickoffs left, right, and center, but you can't do anything once the Omni Knight shows up to protect someone. You kind of have to just get back at that moment. We will see how they do, of course. It is still, for those of you who are tuning into the EPL stream, of course, you have my undying gratitude, as I believe the first few matches for EWC are also underway. Will definitely be an interesting day there, as you have a lot of teams at EWC, teams that otherwise aren't there in regular tier 1 events. You know, and you have EPL teams over there. That's the bigger deal, right? You have teams like Level Up, teams like Rune Eaters over at the European Pro League, you know, you have them at the European Pro League, and now you get to see them at EWC as well. Hopefully after the stream, of course. There's only 2 matches for today because we understand that, you know, you want the best of both worlds. You want both a tier 1 and a tier 3. Beastmaster as well as a Timber banned up by Summer Bear as Balu team. They're thinking, what do we go for as far as the last pick is concerned? How do we pick up an offlaner that packs in everything neatly into a bow? And there aren't too many options available. Maybe you just go for the Underlord because that route will enable you to disable the Centaur Stampede, at least on the few heroes, right? At least on the Shadow Fiend or maybe the techies, but it's a weak lane. You know, it has a lot of disables, sure, but it's the triple raise that you always have to be afraid of. I think the Underlord is pretty weak against that triple raise combo coming in. But let's see, Balu team, they are going to opt in for the Spectre. So it does seem like this Wind Ranger is going to be flexed as a support, and this Undying is going to be a core. I do very much appreciate this tactic, as I do think that the Undying is a stronger offlaner against the SF compared to the Underlord, simply because you have so much tankiness, and your ability to play the lane is not dependent on your positioning and your ability to ran those disables. Your ability to play the lane as an Undying is just, well, it's the right clicks and it's the decay stacks. It's the constant threat of that tombstone if the SF and the techies, you know, they wander on a bit too far. That is what the Undying is going to offer you. And Summer Bear, are they going to be duped by this? Are they going to be taking a look at the Spectre as the carry and are thinking if that's a problem? Because it doesn't have to be a problem. You can just pick up a mid lane hero right now and be pretty much okay. I do think that the Spectre pick makes the Invoker a bit more difficult. Spectre is a natural Orchid builder, so you may want to go in for a Spirit, and they go for the Storm. So Summer Bear, pretty well-rounded draft, and Balu team's draft is just conditioned on making the Spectre work out. And if you're going for a Radiance, then your timing on the Radiance needs to be good, because by the time you get that Radiance, the Shadow Fiend will already have at least his first few items, right? May even have most of the components of that Manta style built up, and at that point, it's a gamble. At that point, you're going to be wondering if you even have enough to take the Shadow Fiend down, because that Manta will enable you to dispel away the Spectral Dagger slow, dispel away the Orchid if Lantana goes for it, and then just get back. Not to mention, you had the Stampede, so the Haunt play by the Spectre is not going to be effective unless you have Akamu there, unless you have the Ember Spirit there, or even Cute with the Wind Ranger, right? You need those disables to come in order to actually shut down some of these heroes. And when I take a look at Balu team's lineup, I am... There we go. Okay, Chippy Cow is, you know, he is on the Undying. I just noticed that. Pretty much okay. I will have to point out that Norma is an absolute beast on the Centaur. Man, oh man, this guy is impressive. I remember his Night Stalker game as well in that game number 2 against Syntax, and Norma went, I believe he only had 1 death. He had double-digit kills, double-digit assists. I think he was 17, 1, and like 15 at one point, and that was an insane game to be had by Norma. Like if I were to show you the exact uh kills that he got, let's see. He Norma ended up the game. They won. Of course, if you have a score like that, you will win. But Norma on the Night Stalker had 17 kills, one death, which took place after the 40-minute mark, by the way, and 26 assists. 17 kills and 26 assists with just one death. And he might have ended that game with 0 deaths, by the way. He had to sacrifice himself. I believe it was the safest carry. That is Norma as an offlane player. And if you're a Balu team, you must be sweating buckets right now, having to play against him. Especially on a hero like a Centaur. Like, sure, it's not the Wind Ranger, but the effect is the same, right? The Retaliate will still work against you. Now, sure, you have that pure damage, so maybe the Retaliate isn't going to be outpacing the damage that you're going to be able to deal against a Centaur, but it still hurts you, and you're still a hero that has a lot less HP than a Centaur. 300 less HP just to begin with. Hmm.
Even a master medium rare.
Shadow Fiend has reconnected into the game, and we're just waiting for Lantana to reconnect before we head into the game ourselves.
That's the spirit.
I see a huge bubble formed above Panda G. That is his aura, and he's toned it down, because if it was his true aura, it would be covering my entire screen, blinding me, blinding us. Of course, I'm just exaggerating here. Or am I? As the game is still paused, we should be resuming into it, hopefully soon. Once Lantana reconnects into the game. Panda on his Storm is, well, I mean, he has had some phenomenal performances on the Storm, of course, but I would say when I think of Panda G, I think about his Invoker first and foremost, and then I think about his Puck. And see them not prioritize their Invoker for so many of these games. It has been an interesting journey, for them. I think their scoreline for the group stage would have been much better had they done that. And when you talk about the group stage, I do have to point out that Summer Bears they've essentially qualified, right, to the playoffs of season 39. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to keep their position. And okay, to be fair, Summer Bear and Balu team, they're both with 1 win and 3 losses. So if they actually lose, well, whichever team loses is going to be at risk of elimination. This is the only match that they both of them are going to be playing, and the other match is on the other group, right? It's going to be Team Aeon versus Team Hive, and Team Hive have already qualified, right? Even if Team Aeon win, they're still not going to qualify. So this match, this one series, is so important for Summer Bear and Balu team that whichever team wins will be sent home. They're already at their homes, I'm guessing, so they'll they'll probably have to go to sleep because you just got eliminated. What else will you do? Hit the gym maybe, but oh man, this is such an important series. I mean, to see Summer Bears not make it into the playoffs would be history, right? Would be history being made. Now, sure, there have been lots of times where they haven't been able to make it into the playoffs. But they're still European Pro League champions. Just this year alone, they won their first EPL title, and that means that they are the heavyweights. Balu team are coming in with the players that don't even have verified Wikipedias, but they are here.
Seconds to battle.
Sentry and the Observer planted. Delight will not be able to get that Observer reward. In fact, Delight is about to get bushwhacked by Akamu. Power Shot also slowing him down. A few more hits would do the trick though. And Delight, Demonic, even he's gonna come in, and First Blood will be drawn with a sleight of fist, as the Ember Spirit is gonna have that head start heading into game number 1 between Balu and Summer Bear. Top lane again. This is one of those lanes where I spoke a lot about. Wind Ranger plus the Undying. I would have actually preferred the Hoodwink to be here. Position 5 Wind Ranger, sure, it's not ideal, but it's not that bad. Especially since the Hoodwink offers the Undying a lot more as far as lane presence is concerned. Like, what exactly is the Shadow Fiend supposed to fear? Because damage ain't it. Damage will just be healed up by Jonyu, with that purification. But it's the disables, the chain disables you need to be able to pack a kill. As Jonyu seemingly wants to run down Cute here, has that Hammer of Purity. It is going to slow the Wind Ranger down for yet another hit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I feel like Cute is just wasting the time away from Jonyu, but I do feel like since you're both supports here, having the position 5's time wasted is not that bad if your position 4 isn't getting anything either. So both teams are going to lose out here in this exchange. Unless Jonyu is able to get the kill, which would be fantastic. The Degen Aura is slowing the movement speed. 250 versus the 310, so the Omni Knight could actually do it right now. Some opportunity for revenge for his fallen techies.
Balance in all things.
Both teams are in. Maybe some voice chat issues. Maybe some disconnectivity. Maybe something. Who really knows? And Jonyu decides to abandon the chase. Decides not to actually pursue the Wind Ranger, as I believe the Wind Ranger just teleported back to the fountain. Mid lane, Ember versus the Storm. Well, a knife's edge lane, right? A skill-based lane. Just depends on who is able to come out ahead. Or rather, the minor outplays matter in this lane quite a bit. Right now, though, Demonic is being zoned back pretty much. Panergy has 11 CS. compared to just the 5 of the Ember. Panda is definitely playing this lane really darn well. Blast off over on the bot lane as Akamu, he throws out a bushwhack that doesn't really catch anything. As Lantana dishes out the hits against Norma. Pretty effective. But still, it's pretty much going to be a boring laning phase, guys. I will tell you that. I don't think I don't think either team is gonna make a decisive move, right? Just poke and prod until you see an opportunity for a kill. Oh, speaking of opportunity, Demon Egg, I think he's just dead. Vortex into the tower by Pandaji, as that is a solo kill. Shows the one hero being involved, but there was no hero being involved in that. It is, by and large, a successful execution by Pandaji, a successful outplay. And the Ember Spirit on 10 CS with Pandaji having full HP here in this lane, by the way. This is, that is a disaster. That is definitely something that you're going to look back at and just... abject terror is how I would define it. That is what Demon Egg must be going through right now. Chippy out. Shadow Fiend in a bit of trouble, but is going to turn it around with a double raise. Cute, unfortunately, they've been missing their disables, and I would hate to think that the reason they didn't pick up control in that last game was because they can't land their disables, because that would be absurd. As Akamu does pick up a kill on Delight over on that bot lane, so they do know a thing or two about execution. It's just here and there these things seem to miss, which is fine. As the Ember Spirit is picking up his CS at the end of the day, he is 19 lost hits. Sure. A far cry from Pandaji, who is a full level above that of the Ember. But that is to be expected with a solo kill happening. Oh, Delight. He's gonna come in slightly late. Pandaji was too far away from the stun. Couldn't use the Vortex. Had that Ember Spirit been Vortexed up, that would have been a potential kill. Because at that level 5 mark, the Remnant, I do believe, burns away the shield entirely. Right, 280 magical damage as opposed to 220 magical damage barrier means that one Remnant is all it will really take. Ooh, Shackle Shot not really landing as Akamu, he is going to pay the price. Chippy Cow is potentially going to fall here as well. It is going to be Zizian who will end up with a double kill. In fact, Zizian would have ended up with a triple had Delight not stepped in. 3 heroes to fall from Balu as Summer Bear. They demolished that top lane. And you know what they call an undying who doesn't have a good lane? Very much dying. Just another one of my extremely lame jokes, but pretty apt for the situation that he finds himself in. As Delight, he's there with the blast off. Should they need it, Pandaji is gonna dodge away the bushwhack. Delight thinking about going in with the blast off and is able to find the kill. And all Akamu finds in response is that observer reward. Definitely not going to be worth it. Summer Bear are in complete control of this early game. Just not so much over on that bot side. But when you leave the Centaur alone against the Spectre, you know, Norma's going to be having a fantastic time as well. 31 CS, 6 denies. Pretty much A-okay.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Lantana. Thinking about
You blew it.
again, the game has gone to a state of passiveness, except there's no pressure on the Shadow Fiend. I doubt there's going to be either, because they've already attempted to take Zizian out with 3 entire heroes, and it turned out to be a complete disaster. Right? They lost the 3. So, are they going to go for that again? It is highly unlikely. Shipikao, his infused raindrops down to the 3 charges, still has plenty of them though. You know what you don't have plenty of? The Wind Ranger.
Radiant's top tower
As Panda G takes out Cute. Demonic isn't in that bad of a position. When we take a look at the net worth, he's short. He is 800 behind the Storm, but he can play catch up. He can find and recover his farm. It just depends on how Summer Bear actually respond to his moves, right? Because the light, thinking about the blast off, and once again they're in towards that top lane to try and make a move on this Shadow Fiend. One raise, but the Bushwhack comes in. Techies is coming in with the blast off and should be able to land on Akamu. The stun comes in, Purification Heal also kicks in, and with the disarm on Akamu, he's just 1 hit away from dying. Zizian will make sure of it with the 1 raise. And that is, again, a rotation coming in, but it goes the other way. Akamu is the one that ends up falling.
are fortified.
Shadow Fiend is now going to teleport towards that bot lane. This tier 1 tower is guaranteed to die. The Spectre can't help. Your Hoodwink is dead. And your Wind Ranger at this point is, I mean, he can't contribute anything right now.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Interesting. He summoned the skeletons and then decided to deny the creep away. And didn't do it before.
Radiant
One of the smaller things that we notice about
Dire are scanning.
heroes like that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Chipikao. He is dead. Once again, he is a very much dying instead of the undying. Even Akamu is going to fall towards that bot lane. Delight is able to pick up the kill there. Maybe, though, they're going to be able to punish Delight. But Jonyu, he comes in with the Guardian Angel. Unfortunately, it didn't proc on Delight. Or, I don't think it did. Jonyu, he is also going to be trapped here. So, Demonic will be involved in a kill. And should be able to, or rather, Chipikao finds it. He finds himself a double kill. Good recovery for the Undying, but he's still very far away from the Centaur. This is a 3,000 net worth advantage, which doesn't really feel like it's going to budge anytime soon, unless you start picking up some core kills, in particular, some kills on the Shadow Fiend.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Chipikao, again, a blast off is going to come in. A few hits will do the trick. I mean, at this point, the Undying is just playing with the phase boots. 12 minutes in, doesn't really have any kind of sustain, any kind of survivability. Even when he gets that Blink Dagger, whenever he gets it. Who knows when he's going to get it? For the current point in time, it's again, for every one objective that the Radiant side, that Balu are able to get, it seems like the other side is able to get more. as John Yu picks up a regeneration rune, and he is literally pushing away an Ember Spirit, a mid laner. Alchemu, he is dead. You show up to the mid lane, you are pretty much dead. That is the equation. As John Yu, I don't think he's gonna fall here, especially with the Guardian Angel that is coming in, but the Ember's trying to wait it out, and maybe John Yu will fall. Slide of Faith is coming off of cooldown, and even Lantana is gonna join in. One Spectral Dagger, and John Yu is dead, and the techies, he is soon to follow. So the first good return
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
is found. They might even be able to find the tier 1 tower. But at the same time, Norma comes in, but gets bushwhacked. Panda. He is holding on. Tower is going to be denied though, and Norma, he has that Hoofstorm, is able to use it, but did they have enough chain stuns? They don't. Unfortunately, the Vortex was on cooldown, but now you have the Greaves up by Panda 13 minutes in. You can now just pop the Greaves.
Never refuse gold.
Radiant are scanning.
Anytime you get hit by the searing change, you just use the Greaves, and suddenly you're out. You can dodge the bushwhack, you can dodge the shackle shot. There isn't any spell that you can't dodge away, right? No disable that you can't dodge away. And now you can dispel the only disable you couldn't dodge before. So this is a pretty good pickup, and now he should be going for the Kaya. Once he gets that, he'll have the damage amplification coming in. Meanwhile, the Ember Spirit trying to build up to that Spirit Vessel. Once he has that, maybe you disable some of the heal that's coming in from the Omni Knight. Right, you have some additional kill potential then. The Spandau doesn't get the rune he wanted.
Let the fun begin.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Smoke of Deceit is going to be coming out. As Norma seems to be the target. Unfortunately, Norma was able to plant the stun. And he is trying to make his way out. Is he going to be able to find it? Demonic will have to use his last remnant to chase after the Centaur, and it's just not worth it. So, a 4-man gank dodged away by Norma.
Radiant's middle
Sheer
tower is under
execution,
attack.
sheer willpower. Panda. He doesn't really need to care about anything, right? It's just simultaneous pressure being applied across all 3 lanes. You can't really play the lanes. Spectre is jungling. Ember Spirit is confined to the creep wave that comes towards him rather than being able to push out. It's not a good look. I mean, the net worth lead just says it all, right?
Radiant's top tower
A Shadow Fiend that is 3,000 net worth ahead of that of the opposing carry already has the Manta style, and the Spectre who's going for the Radiance. Sure, he does have it, but this is the problem that I was talking about. By the time you get to the Radiance, the Shadow Fiend already has his Manta. Turns it around with the Mask of Madness, wants to take out the Tombstone first, should be able to find it despite the Decay heal coming in, but now it's the Requiem that you have to contend with. It didn't actually land on the Ember, and that means that Zizian is going to fall. Big pickup coming in for Balu.
is under attack.
That was huge. 1,400 gold going their way, with Chippy Cow ending up at 566 and the Ember with 376. But it's the experience as well, 2,400 experience going their way. Net worth lead, or rather the win probability, is probably going to decrease to about 70% overall. May even just end up dropping down to 65.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire are scanning.
Centaur Stampede comes in. A very quick and clean kill picked up on Akamu. But still pretty much an A-OK game. As Pandagy,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
they see the Wind Ranger, they want the Wind Ranger, and they will take the Wind Ranger. Cute goes down. In fact, they also see the Spectre. Lantana will also fall. But the teleports are coming in. Are they going to be able to punish Pandagy? I mean, it's impossible to punish Panda. Maybe you can get Delight here. One Remnant in. Has to use his last Remnant to go in. Finds the Searing Chains on the Storm. But he has too much HP to do anything to. And at the end of the day, they're back up to securing a significant advantage. 5,000. And will be able to get Roshan. However, I think the Radiant should defend Roshan. I think Balu team need to fight for this. They have the Tombstone and the Blink Dagger.
Dire are scanning.
Demonic is going to be Vortexed, but has the Flame Guard, absorbs most of the HP. Roshan is very low. Someone needs to go in. It'll be the Spectre, but the Requiem gets sent out, and the Aegis has already been picked up. He might as well lose this Aegis, though Zizian is incredibly low, stuck inside of the Roshan pit. Lantana will move in, spots out the Shadow Fiend, takes him out, and Zizian uses Teleport. He has nowhere to go. He needs the backup, and he needs it now. Delight is hanging around behind him. Shadow Fiend seems to be safe so far as the Ember Spirit has disengaged. He's pretty far behind. Zizian, though, he is still being poked and prodded. Cute will jump in, instantly taken out. Undying Chippigao will use the decay, finds himself with some HP, but is unable to survive. Zizian is still able to land the hits, finds himself a triple, and with the Requiem that ends up after his death, he ends up with an ultra kill. It's going to be an entire team wipe, isn't it? Pandagy will make sure of it. Akamu will be the last casualty. And that's as good of a first stages as it goes. You may not have had the opportunity to push out some waves, some towers, but you find an entire team wipe. You find an ultra kill for your Shadow Fiend. He gets about 1,000 gold from that exchange. Back in Roshan as well, and everyone gets about, the team gets about 1,000 more. So, oh man, that is not looking too good.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
10,000 of a lead right now at the 22-minute mark. And hey, Spectre is a late game hero. I do agree with that. But so is the Shadow Fiend. Is it always going to be a position where the Shadow Fiend is going to stay ahead? Because pretty soon, Norma, who has a heart and a blink, is going to have that scepter. As he sees Akamu, I don't think Akamu is going to die. He has to use as well as the Bushwhack should he have needed it. But they don't really care about Akamu all that much. They really just want the objectives here. They have a big enough lead that they don't need to look for kills.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
While the Radiant side, Balu team, BKB almost on the horizon for Demonig. Lantana almost has that mantle. Well, I mean, he's still pretty far away from it, but he'll have it soon.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 2 tower is going to fall.
A tool to teach.
Demonig. They're chasing after our techies. I'm just not too sure about this. Norman's gonna come in with a two-man Hillstorm. The Requiem gets sent out, and Demonig and Chippy who were so eager to chase after a techies, are going to end up paying the price themselves. In fact, even Cute, he won't be able to make it out. 3 heroes to fall. Norma to end up taking out Akamu. Make it 4. And this game may just be over right now. I mean, what's stopping Zizian from just walking up to that high ground? A Spectre ain't joining you.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's top tower.
Barracks is having been cleared. Tier 2 tower also having been cleared.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Haste.
Spectre going to get hit by the pushback. Lantana is going to fall. Akamu is also pretty darn low. It doesn't feel like a comeback is happening, guys. I hate to be the one to tell you.
Is under attack.
It's just nearly impossible. 99% win probability. You know what that means? That means that Summer Bear have to die, have to get team wiped 3 times in a row to be able to lose control of this game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Just consistent control of the game overall.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I do think that maybe sticking to the Wind Ranger carry may have changed things, but really this is not that big of a drop differential. This is just maybe one team outplaying the other. As the Guardian Angel kicks in, you can't touch the Shadow Fiend. Undying Tombstone is also going to not really matter. Chippy Cow with the BKB trying to run away. The Shackle Shot from Cute actually enables Chippy Cow to make some kind of a distance, but the gap is going to be closed. And the rest of them, the Spectre buyback, or rather Akamu's buyback, is not really going to matter. They're still running everyone over. There is no BKB on the Shadow Fiend, but I don't think you really need the BKB. Chippy Cow will simply call GG as Balu team lose game number 1 to Summer Bear, and Panda G ends up with yet another ultra kill. I think at the end of the day, if you... I mean, you had a solid draft, I suppose. You even sent the Undying towards that off lane, but the few points where you tried to make a play on the Shadow Fiend, and the Shadow Fiend ends up picking up all of those kills. I believe he got a double kill, and it was the Techies to pick up, the Delight to pick up the 3rd kill. I think at that point, the game is pretty much over. I think at that point, you just lost too much, and then your next rotations don't work out either, right? Most of the rotations past that 5 to 6 minute mark never really worked out in favor of the Radiant side of Balu team. And for Balu team, it is the rotations that this time around they need to work on. I do think their draft was okay. It's just the way that they played the draft wasn't optimal. But of course, there's still an opportunity to change things. We still have one more game. versus Demon Egg on the Primal Beast. This is going to be interesting, right? A melee hero against a Huskar. Is he going to be dominated? Is he going to be, is he going to somehow miraculously hold his own against Huskar where he couldn't in a skill-based matchup? That is going to be the question, right? Because if this Huskar pops off, then I don't see anyone from Balu team who can actually stop him. Is it the Ringmaster or the Rube? Because the Huskar has a break against Chippy and his Bristleback, right? You don't necessarily need a break against the Shadow Fiend, although it's not that bad. When I think about the break on the Shadow Fiend, I think about disabling his Necro Mastery. He doesn't have his armor reduction aura as well, so you actually enable your team by using that break on Lantana on his Shadow Fiend. We'll see what the case will be. As, It does seem to be a case of so far, so good for Summer Bear. The game is yet to start. Maybe it is paused. I don't really know, but sometimes the game takes a bit longer to actually load into. I like the Raptor on the clockwork, but when I take a look at the 5v5 lineup, I do think that Balu team's lineup is stronger. But that's only if you can hold your own against the Huskar. That's your win condition, right? You farm up, make sure the Huskar isn't too big of a threat, and you win the game. But if Panda does snowball, and by and large, I mean, Panda is one of the best players on this server, right? In between all of the 10 players that we're talking about, Panda is certainly the playmaker for the side of Summer Bears. So we'll see what exactly Panda is able to do with his Balu team on the Dire side. And it is Summer Bear on the Radiant. I see so many tips coming up for Demon Egg. Like, I think the entire server just decided to tip Demon Egg. And the Nature's Prophet voice line is interesting. Igris Prime. Oh, Igris is back. Igris is back. They were playing with a Sand in their last game, Zizian, but now it is going to be Igris again joining Summer Bear for their run.
No. 30 seconds to battle.
Delight not going to give away first blood. In fact, this time around, it might actually be a bit of damage on Chippy himself. No, he'll walk it off. The only one Gog actually smashed into him, but it will be 2 and 2 bounty runes each, so neither side is actually going to have a decisive advantage over the other. Well, even if they were to get the 3, it still wouldn't be too big of an advantage. Norma will disconnect, but hopefully will reconnect soon. Panda G, though, this is going to be the lane where we do have to keep our eyes on. Demon Egg is a Grandmaster on that Primal Beast. Meanwhile, the Huskar is only Silver tier. So there is going to be a bit of a, maybe a bit of a mechanical difference, because Demon Egg knows how to play the Primal Beast to the very edge. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I am very unsure about that. But what I do know is that when you do get to that break, right, when you do get to that, I would say that ultimate, that pulverize, that scepter actually, with the uproar activation, active uproar, you can make a lot happen. But for the moment, Demon Egg isn't even able to play the lane. He is trying to skip the creeps, but Delight knows this, right? That's why Delight is standing there. Demon Egg, he will attempt to secure the creep wave, drag it away, as Delight doesn't want to play the game to the Primal Beast. He will just simply teleport back. Meanwhile, Panda is going to be able to secure well, just about every single last hit in this lane. And this is how Demonic needs to play the lane. Like, like, by not playing the lane, he's actually doing the best thing. You secure the creep wave away, and, you know, you can then,
Dire's courier has been
gain
killed.
experience that way. Maybe even farm up the jungle alongside the creep wave. For the moment, though, Panda G is attempting to converge the creeps. It's just not going to happen. He will still be able to take control of one creep wave and actually result in a double wave. So, Demonic will only be able to get the one wave. He'll still hit his level 2, but he will still be behind Panda G in that regard. So, the mid lane, quite clearly, is going to be won by the Huskar, right? This lane pulling action is often at times going to be really ineffective. Is effective in some, it's partially effective, right? It gets the job done, but it doesn't put you in an ideal spot. Less than ideal, in fact. Meanwhile, bot side is going to be a Nature's Prophet plus a Clockwork. Not exactly the most terrifying of lane, since the Nature's Prophet doesn't have that much damage early on. But, again, it's a lane where you can't actually win if you're Balu, right? Like, what do you do against a Nature's Prophet in this particular scenario with a Rubik and a Bristleback? Unless you lift the Nature's Prophet up inside where he's already stacked up on the quills and then just dish out additional quills against him. That's the only thing I can think of. Blast off. Cancelled by Akamu. Perfect whiplash coming in by the Ringmaster. And this is a lane where it's very difficult to get the kills. The Batrider has mostly magical damage in the laning phase. And all of that magical damage will be negated by Akamu's box. You know, by the Escape Act. Delight might actually fall here. Another raise would do the trick. Delight had that Fairy Fire as well as a stick though. As Norma has gone in too deep, I don't think Norma will be able to get it done. At the same time, Panda finally able to kill Demonic. So even though First Blood does go the way of Akamu, I think the overall macro exchange does favor the Radiant side. Simply because they get the mid lane kill. And sure, you lost your off laner Batrider. But the Shadow Fiend didn't actually gain much gold at the back of that. Only 58. So First Blood going the way of the Shadow Fiend would have been disastrous. But this is still an acceptable end result if you're a Summer Bear fan or a Winter Bear fan or the all-season bears, as I like to call them. I have decided that I like to call them just now.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Radiant's structures
Demonic
are fortified.
again going to get caught. There's no life break available though, but Demonic doesn't actually make it very far. He has the boots of speed, but the Clockwork Rocket Flare actually slowed him down as well. I look at him trying to run away and scurry away, in fact, but it's not going to be possible. Panda G will once again secure a kill on the mid lane Primal Beast, and this time around the Clockwork even gets a fair bit of gold for his help in the Rocket Flare slow. Seeing the Primal Beast trying to scroll away like that was very interesting, but he is not going to receive any mercy from Panda. Not in this lifetime. Oh, Demonic, he's here towards the top lane. Might as well, right? You're a level 3 Primal Beast. Might as well try to take a security kill on Norma. The blast off does come in by Delight though this time around. And Panda G, he will dive right in with a life break on Lantana. However, he doesn't have that much HP. so won't be able to do much after that. His inner fire has not been skilled up, so the silence was not available. At the same time, you know, if his Berserker's Blood was also level 4, he would have stuck around, but the raise right now does too much damage against him. And you also want to make sure that you don't die. Not dying is by far the most important thing on the Huskar. Maybe even a bit more so than getting kills in the first place. Panergy goes in with the trample, but the life break slow comes out on Demonic. Even John Yu comes in and the blast off is there. Demonic falls for a third time. This is not the game for a Primal Beast. He has 8 lost hits. Cute, the support Rubik has more. Well, it's not fair to say more. He has just about the same lost hits as the Primal Beast does, but has more denies, so has overall more CS. Might as well let the Rubik play the mid lane, right? Might as well transition yourself to a jungler, because sticking around in this lane is clearly not working out for Demonic. Now, he will be able to get most of this. Okay, never mind. He will still be able to get these last 2 CS. Hopefully. There we go. One more hit. Range creep. Let's go, Demonic. There we go. So he does get, you know, 2 CS. It's not that bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. As over on the bot lane, Chippy Cow, I would have expected the Bristleback to be able to zone out Igris a lot more, but Igris is just sticking around towards the tower. It's actually towards that bottom lane where John Yu hopes to secure that Shrine of Wisdom and actually be successful. No! Alchemu as well as Chippy Cow are able to make their way in. In fact, even Demonic is here. John Yu will have to abandon that Shrine of Wisdom play, but it's too late. He cannot make his exit. Alchemu will be able to secure both the Shrine as well as the Clockwork's life. But it did require quite a few heroes to show up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Chippy Cow. Nature's Wrath is gonna come in. Chippy Cow takes in a whole lot of damage, but is able to get the kill on John Yu. Now, the only question is, will he be able to make his way out? With the Nature's Prophet teleport coming in, Igris has that Sprout. One more CS will do the trick, and Igris, with one last right click, is able to get revenge for his Clockwork. He even sends out a revenge tip for his Clockwork, but it's Norma who is struggling on that top lane. 2 deaths in a row for the Batrider. So overall, not too bad. When we take a look at the net worth, of course, the Primal Beast is at the least farmed core in the game. And the Huskar, the problem is, he is 2,000 net worth ahead. So what happens when Panda G turns his attention towards that Shadow Fiend, who has been free farming? Red Lantana does have plenty farm. But maybe he wants to take out this tower first. As the bot lane tower has already been secured, mid lane tower is going to be glyphed. But I don't think they can turn the tides. I don't think they can do anything about this tower actually falling, particularly with Panda G here with the life break. Okay, John Yu thought about going in, use his blood grenade. That's about 50 gold of a loss. Every penny adds up in a game of Dota. Energy able to secure a kill on the Rubik, who was being a bit of a menace. But towards that bot lane, it is going to be Norma, grabbed up by Demonic. Lantana will dish out the hits, and with one last CS, should be able to get the kill. Well, they're not going to be able to get the kill. That was awkward. That was very awkward. They should have taken down Norma there. He survives by about 200 HP. just walks out. Of course, the clockwork did help him there, but still, now he's going to be able to farm up these stacks
Scanning.
with one use of his Firefly, while Pandagy continues to wreak havoc. At the same time, he might actually fall. He does. Demon Egg is able to pick up, or no, it's Cute who picks up the streak. Oh, that had to hurt, especially since Demon Egg is going to die here. I think he lost more gold than he gained.
Dire's
He only gained about 80 gold in that exchange. That's not worth it for the downtime.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Norma? Trying to farm up these stacks is hard. Because he doesn't have the HP, he can't go back there. So, a huge amount of stacks.
Dire are scanning.
Some people call you friend.
Meanwhile, Maelstrom up at the 11-minute mark. This Nature's Prophet Igris is going to be huge. Shadow Fiend can keep up in terms of farm because he has those raises. And actually is deciding to go through the gate. If they can find a kill on Igris, if they can give the kill credit to... Okay, never mind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Cute. Jonyu is... he is there, but
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
he's gonna get back. Still not that big of a lead, considering how the mid lane went. I suppose the credit does go to Balu team safe lane because they were able to make sure that Norma is disabled and he's not able to make those plays, at least with the lasso. Demon Egg will be able to farm up the jungle, and it's not a bad timing for the Blink Dagger, that's the thing. Even though it is just a phase boot Blink Dagger, like it's literally, he has one item with the Blink Dagger, but he still should be able to make some openings with this item. Meanwhile, Pandagy has that Dragon Lance. The additional stat value plus 10 strength plus 15 agility
Are scanning.
will be coming in handy.
Is that for me? It's for all of us.
Dire are scanning.
Norma. Raises are going to come in and Norma will die for a third time. They are not going to allow the Batrider to play that top side. Meanwhile, the Bristleback is a free farmer, right? The Bristleback is someone that you can't really do anything against unless you bring in significant numbers. They are doing that right now. Pandagy is here, but won't be able to catch up to the Bristle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Delight is going to fall. Hookshot is also going to miss. So I will say that Balu team are playing this very decisive. Sure, the Nature's Prophet has a lot of net worth, has a Mjolnir and a Dragonlance, but it's not as if the Shadow Fiend is very far behind, right? The Shadow Fiend also has a Dragonlance, Falcon Blade, Mask of Madness. Now you just need to farm up those key items. Those heavy big items. But it pretty much is, you know, essentially an even game. It is interesting though that Balu team is given a 65%, 66% in fact, win probability in their favor, even though the net worth is in the favor of the Radiant side. That's probably because Dota doesn't like the Huskar as a hero, right? No one really likes the Huskar as a hero.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Rubik is farming up. And the problem is, as soon as this Huskar dies, you're in big trouble. Right? Because then the Shadow Fiend will just be too far ahead. Then it's going to be so much pressure on the Nature's Prophet to be able to get anything done. At that point, he's going to have to carry his team's weight on his shoulders, on his back, on his legs, everywhere. Right? It's hard. Norma tried to go in for the lasso, revealed his Blink Dagger though, so there's not going to be any surprise coming next time around he tries that. However, Demon Egg does go in. Delight though has that blast off, so Demon Egg has to get back. There's that lasso that comes in. Demon Egg will eventually go down. No, he goes in for the heal. He actually goes in front with the onslaught. Panda G is dead. John Yu has nowhere to go. Where is your Nature's Prophet? He has decided not to show up, as it does mean that John Yu, his life is going to be forfeit as well. Akamu is sure to chase him down as Cute ends up falling towards the side. John Yu is able to pick up the kill, and in fact is maybe able to teleport away. No, the Whiplash stops and John Yu, the jig is up. The cops have caught him, and Akamu will pick up a solo kill. 880 gold going their way, 335 to the Bristleback, and the win probability should swing even more in favor of the Dire side. They have plus 4% experience, 0% net worth advantage, but they are going to be able to head inside of that Roche pit and no one's going to be able to fight back. Huskar really needs the BKB, but one thing the Huskar really wants is that first Aegis of the game, and that's going to be snatched away from them. And until the Nature's Prophet has that silver edge, they're not going to be able to burst through the Huskar the way that they want.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
He'll even take the Tormentor away. Balu team, they're getting each and every single objective around the map. Akamu now has that spotlight. Doesn't really matter, but it's not against summon units. It's just against the illusions. So Norma. He's thinking about the shadow going in on the Shadow Fiend, but they will spot out Akamu. And they will at least drag him and take him down. A dominating streak for Norma. Free of cost. A freebie. That is pretty good. Does it change the state of the game? Probably not, but it's also the fact that... Oh, Panda.
Radiant are scanning.
Cute touring around with the Huskar.
Dire's middle tower.
Interesting, the Huskar didn't actually use his inner fire because that would have disabled the Rubik's blink. He tried to go in for the right click. But he also didn't know that whether or not that was an illusion or the real deal. We know it's the real deal because we are superior. I'm only kidding, of course. We're the ones watching the game. Oh, I'm casting and watching. You guys are watching.
Dire are scanning.
But because we're watching, we know what's an illusion and what's not. The techies does allow you. I mean, look at the map control, right? Look at this, this plantation of these mines, Lantana, right? It does seem like the map is in control of the Radiant. Igris is just completely free farming. I mean, he has 15,500 net worth. Top lane. Norma's dead. Delight is likely to be dead. I mean, Delight's guaranteed to die. 2 kills. Lantana 2-0-5. 13,500 net worth. Not that far behind the Nature's Prophet. And once you start getting up to these big damage dealing items, he has an entire Silver Edge flying out towards him. Or rather, actually, no, it's just a Shadow Blade. But the Silver Edge isn't too far away. I mean, he'll be able to get that within the next minute or so. Panda G. Ooh, hook shot missed. However, the Sprout is still there. There comes the break. BKB is activated. Demon Egg will disable his own Pulverize. But at the end of the day, that means Chippy Cow lives to tell the tale. He just simply walks it off. Pings are coming in. Lantana. He wants to chase down the Nature's Prophet, but Igris. Okay, never mind. It's John Yu. You know, why not?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Igris, he's activated his BKB, attempting to fight back, and he's actually doing it. He's actually laying out the hits, but the Pulverize comes in, but Igris is able to take the kill. In fact, he's dishing out the hits against Chippy Cow as well, and now will this attempt to teleport out. 3v1!
Radiant's bottom tower
That was,
Dire's
pretty
top tower
fantastic
is under
coming in
attack.
by the Nature's Prophet. Clockwork. He hook shots in. John Yu is gonna die.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Delight. He is caught. But Lantana, he is on a chase of his own against the Batrider. Oh, he may be able to get it done. Norma is going to teleport away. Are those lost hits actually going to land? Norma is attempting to teleport out. Will be successful. Will the lost hits follow him?
Radiant's middle
Where are
tower
I can't
is
see where
under
they're coming from. He still hasn't been hit. So I believe the lost hits withered away. Can't travel that distance. 67% in favor of Balu team, but there's the break. The Chippy Cow is taking in quite a bit of damage, but again, he has that forced off out. Panda-G can't follow him, and Panda-G is just dead. Seems like there is a severe lack of damage. I can't really tell where is the break coming in from. Is it, I mean, where is the supposed break happening? Because I don't see the break effect, and quite clearly this does break. Right, and the bristleback is completely breakable. One of the most breakable spells in the game. Demon Egg will cast attackies, the light will be taken out. And this game is getting out of hand, but Igris does have the Shadow Blade. So they will have like that guaranteed break. It's just them choosing to brute force their way onto a bristleback is not the best of ideas.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ooh. They went in.
Radiant are scanning.
Okay, cute. That's not exactly the place where you should be. I suppose he wanted to deny the. I know what he wanted to do. Tumble down, deny or pick up the rune, and just blink away. But trying to do that while there are 4 heroes surrounding the rune is, of course, it is nighttime. He probably didn't see them in the first place. But this does give an opening to Panda, who has an amplified damage, to make something happen. Not against Chippy Cow though. He is too darn tanky. Sanjin Yasha, plate mail, consecrated wraps. It is just too darn much. He's also building his way towards the Heart of Tarask. Once he has that, he'll have about 4,000 HP to play with. And then it's going to be really difficult.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Norma picks up Akamu, who is dead. Now they do have a one-man advantage. It's just a Nature's Prophet. Igris has been trapped. The damage is coming in. Panda-G tries to help, but they've lost their carry. Panda-G all alone here against the Shadow Fiend, who throws out his Requiem on Panda-G, who does get feared up. Inner Fire is unleashed, but this is a lost cause. Panda-G will fall where he stands. And that, my friends, is the beginning of the end for Summer Bear. Holding on to that very thin line. They needed their Nature's Prophet. I mean, there is no way to win this game without your NP. And it seems as if they may not be able to win with him anyway. I'm not sure who's doing more damage, this Bristleback like Chippy Cow or Lantana.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
As they walk up to that high ground. Now, I do think the game's not over quite just yet, but it is beginning to be over, or rather, you know, it beginning to be over has already started. Like, it started 5 to 10 minutes ago. I don't see many late game Huskars winning, is all I'm gonna say. The light attempts to run back, but Chippy Cow, all he really needs to do is unleash his bristles, his quills. As Igris does find a kill on Cute, but they've lost their lane of barracks. Now he's gonna attempt to go for a Satanic. Lantana attempting to go towards Pandagy, but it turned out to be a mistake. It's gonna be Demonic who will actually fall. Chippy Cow didn't get poked by the mine, but Lantana. Good use of the treants there to spot out anyone on that high ground. But it seems like they're going to make another play on Pandagy. He doesn't have his BKB. But it seems for the moment they are ready.
Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Dire's courier has been killed.
Igris is trapped here. He's not going to be able to find his way out of this one. They don't even need their Shadow Fiend. I mean, he's there, but they don't need him. Disaster after disaster after disaster. From what was a fantastic start to the game. They got what they wanted. They got the Huskar off to a blazing start. But he turned out to be a Charmander. In the rain. With his little tail withering away.
Has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
I mean, he'll have the Satanic, but it's just so hard, this game. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like, even though it's only a 5,000 net worth advantage, right? You have to keep that in mind. But this game feels like
Dire's middle tower is under
the Dire side, they're like 20,000 ahead at this point. Like, I don't see a way where they lose a team fight. Aegis in the hands of the Shadow Fiend. Should be able to get through the melee barracks too.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Is there a way out? Is there a way back? I personally don't think so. As long as Balu team continue to do what they're doing, they only need to take care of one more lane of barracks. Now, they won't have the Aegis for it, sure. The safe play would be to wait for 5 more minutes, but the slightly risky play would be to look for pickoffs around the map, find one, go for the high ground. Like, they found the kill on the Nature's Prophet, right? He is going to be farming around the map. You know that for a fact. He needs to be getting to that Satanic. You already saw the one component of the Satanic, so he's not going to sit in his base. And we're off to a 99% win probability. Just with a 9,000 net worth advantage. Right? Dota really does not like the draft coming in from the Radiant side, from Summer Bear. I mean, to be fair, Pandagy, he is... Energy. He's gonna be brought in. Does seem like both teams are hankering for a team fight. For one of these teams, it is, well, a team fight that is probably going to be a Hail Mary.
That should help.
Come to me.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Energy. Ringmaster is gonna die. They have the Shadow Fiend, and they have 3 heroes around them. Lantana doesn't have the Satanic, but he just picked it up in the courier. Pandagy, he's trying to lifesteal away, but the Shadow Fiend has simply too much damage. Even Igris is gonna fall here. Lantana able to hold his ground, and they're going to be able to find an entire team. away,
for battle.
and we'll see what they're going to be able to do. I would actually say that Summer Bears are still the stronger team, just simply because of how they play. But Balu team did show up, you know, in a massive way. Their Shadow Fiend is quite, I would say, promising. Let's see if Lantana will have the same kind of an impact with the Drow Ranger. Certainly, his lane should be easy, right? His lane shouldn't be the hard bit. It's just what happens after the lane. And for Summer Bear, I think I think for Summer Bear, it's the fact that you have the axe, so your timing on the Blink Dagger and the Blade Mail need to be there, right? You can't have an axe game that, for example, as a Bat Rider, Norma was struggling. He died twice in the laning phase, didn't actually have much impact throughout the game, in fact. And if you have a game like that on the axe, and your Blink Dagger is very late, you won't be able to make many plays with your team, and that will definitely hurt you.
The battle begins.
Chippy and Lantana with the bounty runes. So 2 and 2 bounty runes each, not that bad. Now Akamu and Lantana, this is it's nearly impossible, right? To dive the Drow Ranger. You have Akamu with a decay, both strength based, or rather the axe is a strength based hero, and the Tombstone will come out. So if your plan is to overrun the Drow Ranger with that blast off and the Battle Hunger, maybe even the Berserker's Call, it's going to be a very risky play to actually execute that. But we'll see if that's going to be possible, and how much it will be possible. For the current point in time, Norma is getting zoned back. When we take a look at the last hits, he does seem to have 3, but it is of course Panda who is, you know, they picked this into the Invoker. You do have to keep in mind. So there has to be a plan with the Slardar. Right now, though, he doesn't have as much CS, but should be picking it up. And again, the same thing that I said about the Axe, where you need the timing, the same can be said for the Slardar. You need the timing for that Blink Dagger, otherwise you can't actually play the game. Let's see. Demon Egg does find the stun. I mean, you can heal up as long as you're in the river. The problem is the Invoker pushes out the creep wave so fast that you may have to spend your time uphill, where you don't have your regen, right? That is the big factor. Jonyu. With the healing salve. Does push Chipikao back.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
That was costly.
Lantana will pause the game. And Igris will receive a tip. Igris doesn't have too much CS, right? The CS game is actually being won by the dire side. Sure, Panda is a one-man wonder on the Invoker. But against a Drow, it is a bit hard to be able to do that.
Radiant's structures are fortified.
Demon Egg. Will attempt to go back. Hmm. Ooh, Blast Off came in. Demon Egg is so darn low. Is he gonna take out? He does! Delight will end up with the first blood. And it's going to be on the slaughter of all heroes. Not towards that top lane, not towards that bot side, but towards that mid lane. That is highly surprising. And even though it's not the Invoker who got the kill, who cares? When you disable the Slardar, delay his Blink Dagger timing, every kill matters in that regard. He's gonna have to teleport back into the lane. Lantana. Again, huddled up close to the tower while Norma continues to farm away. So the axe is, you know, gaining his lost hits back. It's just he needs the second point in his battle hunger. He may be thinking to go for the Berserker Skull, which, you know, it is a difficult decision to make. But at the end of the day, you continue to farm at the jungle camps, and it's pretty much a-okay. Undying is going to be a bit of a menace towards him. Oh, Norma, he chose to run up. Now he is running with the tide of the river and actually dodges the multi-shot. Juked the drow.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ooh, Delight. He goes down.
You'll have to do better than that.
Norma needs to be careful now. He only has about 350 HP. Sure, he has plenty of HP regen, but he is going to eat another decay. Turns around. Is Norma just dead? Norma is dead. Yeah, and he wasn't able to get the creep wave. Two of them will be denied. I think the signals are coming out to try and pressure some of these other side lanes while Norma can split the wave and just farm up on that top side. Definitely a decision that is worth considering for a Summer Bear.
The stench of death is upon you.
Chippy Cow. Sunstrike will land. Unfortunately, did not get the kill credit for that. But Delight, he will also go down. And the Invoker doesn't get the experience because he didn't get the kill. That is perhaps the biggest unfortunate event. As they're going to lose two heroes for this, and they control their own Shrine of Wisdom, so it's not actually that bad, especially since Demon Egg will be able to get that last hit. And no, he actually doesn't. So, 141 gold shared between three entire heroes. That is, he still gets 314 gold. Wow. Okay.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Invoker almost has the Meteor Hammer. After that, the pressure on these towers and his farming speed should accelerate. Is it a huge acceleration? Nah, but it's still, you know, it's still something.
Very good.
Misfortune.
Dire's
Igris is going to be lifted up, brought back. He has the scythe, but no one's low enough for him to be able to use it. I think he's chose to make a mistake. He made a mistake with not skilling up his Ghost Shroud, and his scythe does land on Lantana, but he sticks around. In fact, the light will also be going down here. Shipika will be soon running him over. No blast off available. No scythe, no Ghost Shroud.
Radiant's bottom tower
I
is under
don't know about that one.
Dire's
I think he overestimated his presence in the lane there.
Dire's top tower.
I mean, that having that Ghost Shroud meant that instead of, you know, having a DuckTales and run, he could have actually stuck his position, allowed his team to dish out some damage, and then take out the Drow. That would have been a completely different fight had that actually happened. But Balu team, they're able to come up with the win in that regard.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Meteor Hammer comes down. Demon Egg actually dodges everything. He dodged the Meteor, he dodged the Blast off with his Illusion Rune. That looked mighty impressive. And actually, he'll turn it around towards Jonyu, who doesn't have his Battery Assault. I think Jonyu is just dead, but Meteor Hammer coming in by Panda G disabled Demon Egg from his last hit, and he got stuck inside of the cogs. Very well done by Panda.
You'll have to do better than that.
Tornado is going to be sent out. Meteor is also going to land, and Cute, he won't be able to get away.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Is that for me? It's for all of us.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Demon Egg is walking down. I mean, he has a Blink Dagger at that 12-minute mark, not that bad. The Drow Ranger also shows up, but everyone has abandoned this position. They will let go of their tier 1 tower, and they don't need to defend it because they already have the mid lane tier 1.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Akamu. He has revealed his position, but they're looking for something more. They're looking for the Drow Ranger. They realize they don't find him, and so why not go for Akamu? Sunstrike's gonna be there as well, but unfortunately, again, the kill credit does not go towards the Invoker, and neither does the experience. That's the problem of not finding the Sunstrike kill, right? You want to get that for the experience mostly. I mean, the goal is, of course, very good, but is the fact that you can gain experience by not even being involved, physically present in the fight. But at the same time, you do have the Necro with the Radiance built up, Igris. 14-minute mark, it's not that bad of a timing, right? Considering he also went down once, he has 130 lost hits, not bad at all. I think when you consider the fact that the Drow Ranger doesn't have the Manta style yet, right? It is a bit too early since he did go for the Falcon Blade as well as the Blade of Alacrity. I think having the Manta is pretty much, or rather having the Radiance is pretty much okay at this point. The question becomes, what is Chippy Cow going to make? Right now, he has eyed up the Hairball, presumably for the additional armor reduction. But is he going to be going for an Aghanim Scepter after that?
Radiant are scanning.
Or rather, not the Aghanims, but the Pipe of Insight. And a few more defensive items. I think you do definitely need defensive items.
Coin for me.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Norma. Techies is likely to fall here, but the Sunstrike damage was absorbed. Chippy Cow, he is pretty much stable. I forgot it's not a Techies. Techies would have died, but Chippy Cow has a lot of HP, as well as the Consecrated Wraps. Demonig and Cute also show up, but Demonig, his presence here doesn't really do anything, since the fight is already over.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Norma just teleports towards that top lane. Has the Blade Mail.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is
Norma?
under attack.
Won't be getting caught, but Delight will. It's still, the Dota client certainly loves their Drow Rangers and loves their Shadow Fiends. There's not a lot of win probability in favor of the Radiant side, but I think it's because they're assuming this Necrophos is an offlane hero, right? Or rather, I don't remember what the Necrophos was like 5-6 years ago. Was he he wasn't, definitely was not a support. I think he was just a mid lane hero through, you know, through time, but he's definitely new to the carry position. I know that for a fact, but don't know what he was 10 years ago.
Dire's bottom
Probably just a mid lane hero, right?
Radiant's middle tower
Invoker.
is under attack.
Has the meteor hammer as well as the boots of travel.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Norma uses the blade mail. Sunstrike is also coming in. Demon Egg takes in a lot of damage and is very low on his HP, but the Necrophos is not here. Neither is Pandagy. Summer Bear are trying their very best to fight, but they need their carry, who does show up. Igris is in, and the Slardar, he is dead. Ghost Shroud gets activated as Igris tries to teleport away, and Cute, his telekinesis, was just barely on cooldown. It is still, though, a 2-for-1. 2 supports for 1 offlaner. Not that bad, or rather for 1 mid laner. Not that bad of an exchange
Radiant's bottom tower is under
for the
attack.
Radiant side. I suppose not that bad for either team, right? It's a dead even exchange in terms of gold, pretty much. Even in terms of experience as well, I don't think 200 experience really matters that much. It's a creep wave of experience at best. Oh, wow. Pandagy is able to snipe away Akamu with that Sunstrike. I do believe the Rocket Flare may have given him some vision over the area. Demon Egg doesn't have a BKB. Meteor, Chaos Meteor and the Tornado, or rather the Blast Off and the Chaos Meteor slightly off the effect, but I wonder though, Lantana, he seems to want to poke the axe, but he's not able to get through it, not with these many heroes nearby, but finally they do manage to burst through him, and now Johnny is in trouble as well. Surely Panda can't or doesn't want to stick around in this position. He was thinking about it with the amplified damage rune, but they will just go back while Igris continues to farm up for his Mantis Child. Needs it against the Gust. And in fact, even against the Nasal Goose and the Quill Sprays. Quill Sprays can't be dispelled, but the Nasal Goo can. Oh, Lantana? So close. Might actually fall here because you do still have... Okay, never mind. Igris will use the Reaper Scythe on Akamu. Now it's Chippy Cow who is gonna get chased. Well, not chased really. They don't want to deal with the Bristleback. And it's an interesting question. Who is gonna build up to that break mechanism? It's not gonna be the Necro. You could theoretically build it on Panda, but it's not the best item. The axe definitely isn't going to go for one, so we're just relying on pure damage to take out that Bristleback. You know, save him for loss. That is the recipe. Like, if you have a break, then you can target the Bristleback first. If you don't have a break, then you have to target the Bristleback last. And it's as simple as it gets.
Are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Chippy Cow. Cute also goes down by the Rubik.
is under attack. Dire are scanning.
It's still a game that is on, that is on the brink, that is on the knife's edge. Roshan didn't go their way in game number 2 while they had the Huskar, but it does seem like there's not going to be any resistance in this third game for Summer Bear to be able to take Roshan away. Rubik plants down the sentry, but I think he realizes that something is awry. He just can't do anything about it. They give the Roshan away, and now it just depends on what Igris plans to do for the next 5 minutes. Is it to farm? It's not a bad option if you just want to farm, right? Like, having to deal with further objectives like the tier 2s and the high ground is very risky against a Drow Ranger. The game could turn because defense, like, Drow Ranger is one of those unique heroes that is good at defense, like great at defense and good at offense. But then again, as the saying goes, a good defense is the best offense.
Radiant are scanning.
Pandaji, as well as Igris. In fact, Norma, all 3 cores here. The Scythe. You beat Chippy Cow's end. 500 gold going the way of Igris. Huge pickup. Because that is essentially your frontliner. You have to remember, the Slardar isn't much of a frontliner in this game. Alright, he's going to be going for another fire, so he won't have that. He won't have those tanky items. He may have the BKB, but he can't actually hold his ground. I would actually say even with that BKB. Cute also falls, Sunstrike combo, perfect effect. And the Shiva's Guard having been built up means that Demonic is going to be even in even more trouble. Alchemu, Aziz is going to get run down by an axe here. Okay. I mean, he's back. But now the swing is starting to get out of reach. Pendulum swinging, but it's not coming back.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Delight is going to be taken out. John Yu. In fact, Norma is in as well. Drow Ranger does deal plenty of damage, but now that Panda G is in, however, no. The Undying Save is going to be there. Delight has also bought back into this, but Summer Bear, they're not getting enough done. Everyone is super low, but no one's been able to find a consistent target. And Norma will be the second casualty. In the end, Panda will take out Alchemu once again with his Sunstrike. He certainly has his Sunstrike laser focused on this Undying. This is just a bit of poke and prod. Or is it? I mean, there's no scythe, but you do have Igris here. Look at the damage coming in on Chippy Cow. He's just dead. And the Rubik who came in to try and help his Bristleback because he thought that, hey, I have a Bristleback. Surely he's gonna live. Well, turns out that their calculations were wrong. Turns out I was not expecting that amount of damage on a Bristle who had his back turned towards you, trying to ignore you, but I just imagine Arnold's voice, you know, talk to the hand every time the Bristleback turns his back on someone. And without their Bristle, you could potentially, at the very least, poke this high ground. But remember, the Aegis is expiring. And so they'll probably go back.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
John Yu will be the first casualty, but Cute is also in. Oh, a two-man Paul! Norma! He goes in from the side! Catches the Drow Ranger, and it's all over. There's nothing you can do after your Drow is dead. Demon Egg trying to get back to his fountain, but Norma once again comes in with a call that catches the Slardar. Demon Egg will activate his BKB, but all he can really do is attempt to run. Chippy Cow trying to chase after the techies will be disabled by Panda. And he's slowed to a halt inside of that ice wall. Norma will go in once again with the call, force the Bristleback to turn towards them, and they will take him down. That is going to be an entire lane of barracks. No buyback available on their Drow Ranger. The stench of death by Igris planted on everyone from Balu.
Dire's top barracks is falling. Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Igris takes down the ranged barracks. Melee barracks is now standing. But, I mean, it's pretty much dead, right? One loss hit coming in from the siege creep, and 2 lanes of barracks have now been lost, all at the back of Lantana, losing his life just the one time. That is pretty much what the death of a Drow Ranger right on the cusp of your high ground gets you. A good defense? Well, even the best of defenses have their weak points. Igris comes in just to take the last hit of that range banner creep. Looks like one of the last few team fights of this game is brewing up. But as long as they have vision of Norma, which they don't, by the way, they should be good. But they know, I mean, Summerbear know where everyone is from Balu, right? That's the difference. As the tier 4s are being poked, Chippy Cow reveals his position.
Dire are scanning.
Do it with flair.
Chippy Cow. Or rather, Norma. He does go in. Igris. Jonyu has fallen first. Norma, he's able to find the call, but the tombstone save is going to be there this time. You still do have to deal with Igris, who is holding on to his Reaper's sight. Doesn't want to use it on Chippy Cow. He wants the Drow Ranger with that, but he'll be forced to expend it. Chippy Cow has died, so has Demon Egg, and all the 5 of Summer Bear are standing courtesy of the buyback coming in by Jonyu. Norma tried to go in for another call. Is going to be lifted up though. Lantana can't reveal his position. I have a feeling they know where he is. There's a sentry ward there by the Radiant side. Akamu, he's going to be the one to pay the price. No Ceaseless Dirge right now. And Roshan is up for grabs. They could try to just go end the game, but they don't actually know how many buybacks there are. I can tell you, there are none on the side of Balu team. Well, apart from Akamu, he has it. Roshan is going to make his migration, but towards the mid lane, they do see Lantana. He's about to get grabbed up by the call. Cute is there with the telekinesis. As the light also jumps in, Lantana needs a way out. He's going to be lifted up. Gust comes in. Igris, though, he'll chase after him. The light will be able to pick up the kill, and Lantana has gone down. He doesn't have a buyback. Roshan is also going to be grabbed up and is likely to fall here. Aegis collected up by Igris. Chippy Cow. Packet loss, apparently, for Panda.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 2 gone, so only a Tier 3 defense remains for Balu team on the brink of elimination from season number 39. They're going to need to muster up something magical if they want to make this happen. As Delight is the first, potentially the first casualty, nullified down, but Norma, he jumps in, he finds a call on Lantana, who's inside of the tombstone, but very far outside of the base. Igris stands before him, and he can't burst through the Necrophos. Igris will use his scythe on Demonic, who has gone down. Lantana, not too long for this world. Tornado, he'll dodge it. Lantana will survive. Igris still going on strong. Chippy Cow will also... Well, I don't know if they're dodging these or if Summer Bear are just whiffing them. But they've already lost the 2 heroes. Jonyu can't buy back into the game. But they can't defend these barracks is the big problem. They don't have Demon Egg. They don't have their mid laner. Chippy Cow has very little mana to play with. Can't actually use any spell of his own.